For those who dare to dream, there is a whole world to win. By Dhirubhai Ambani. Jai Hind and a very good afternoon to Air Commodore V T Parnaik, our Dean, Dr. Poonam Nikam, faculty members and all the students of IIEBM. I, Andrea D'Souza, MC of this session, welcome you all to the orientation program for batch 2023-2025. It's my honor to now introduce Air Commodore V T Parnaik. Sir, may I have your permission to proceed? Thank you, sir. Air Commodore V T Parnaik is a retired Air Force officer with over 3 decades of experience in HR functions. Sir has completed his BCom and MBA specializing in HR and Industrial Psychology and MSc in Defense and Strategic Studies from University of Madras. Sir has also completed a Certified Technical Psychologist course from Defense Institute of Psychological Research under DRDO, New Delhi, and also a Certified Forensic Psychologist. He also underwent a full-time advancement management course for senior officers at Army Institute of Management, Kolkata, and a certificate course in corporate governance and functions of independent directors at MDI, Gurgaon. A full-time interpreter course in foreign language from the School of Foreign Language under Ministry of Defense, and a Defense Services Staff course from the prestigious Defense Services Staff College, Wellington. Sir has also successfully accomplished diverse organizational goals in the following specialized areas: selection of potential officers for commission in the Air Forces as a Chief Psychologist in the Services Section Board and Head of Department of Ground Duty Officers, Training Division at the Air Force Academy, Hyderabad; Head of Personality Division dealing with Behavioral Studies and Counseling, close interaction with Center for Leadership and Behavioral Studies, for specialized training and grooming in personality development for Air Force officers; close interaction and training with Defense Institute of Psychological Research, DIPR, for various psychological projects and defense officers selection related systems; close association with Faculty Development and Research Center, FDRC, of the Army for conduct of workshops and training seminars for officers, staff, and cadets of military institutes under Ministry of Defense; management of training institutions and inspection duties at Air HQ, Ministry of Defense, involving active liaison with central state governments for management and inspection of all Sainik schools; public relation duties for the Air Force during induction of Sukhoi 30 aircraft and during major Air Force exercises involving active liaison with print and electronic media. Sir is presently working in the areas of personality development and specialized training for defense services, aspirants, external selection panelist for management institutes, HR recruitment panelist, consultant for corporates, and guest faculty in management institutes. I would now like to request our Dean to please felicitate Sir. Thank you, ma'am. Without any further ado, I would now like to invite Air Commodore V T Parnaik to address the young minds present here.
Okay, very warm good afternoon to all of you again. Let me at the outset thank Andrea for the introduction which she has given. It was not necessary to give the whole thing. A few lines would have been enough, but thanks a lot. And let me also thank the IIEBM staff director. Of course, Dr. Jai Singh is not here today with us, for giving me this opportunity to be amongst all of you. It is always a pleasure to be in this institution, because I was associated with this institution for 3 years before the COVID struck, 2018, 19 and 20. I've seen about 3 batches which passed out before you, and I was teaching them HR and corporate governance and some aspects about soft skills and psychology. So, to begin with, let me welcome you all, because I believe this is the induction process going on, and this must be your 4th or 5th day? Second day. Okay, no wonder you're looking a bit tired. So please relax. I'm going to keep it a bit simple because I know you've had at least 2 sessions since morning. So I don't want to tire you even further. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to talk about getting ready for the future. That is the topic. And I'm also aware that mm, people of your age don't like others to give sermons. Hmm? Because I also happen to be your age at some point in time in the past. So they don't like people to give them do this, do that. No, it becomes a bit too much for them. So I don't intend to sermonize or pontificate and tell you, what you should do, this, that. But what I'm going to do is to discuss what the future looks like. When we say getting ready for the future, because you are just starting your journey here and you will get your degree in 2025. We are in 23. So 2025 you will be passing out. So I'm going to talk about this period of 2 years, what the atmosphere, the environment in the industry, in business, trade, commerce would be like when you pass out. So I have brought certain data, certain surveys, and in simple words, without using any jargon, no technical, complex words, because it's just the beginning of the journey. And what you need to understand is what the future looks like. When you say getting ready for the future, what is the future like? What are the type of challenges which you are likely to face in the future? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? And what are the requirements which the industry demands from you, so that when you step into the big bad world, why I'm calling it the big bad world, because it is a competitive world and where the men get separated from the boys, and this applies to the girls also. That means those who adapt, they stay put, they progress. Those who cannot adapt and adjust, they are left behind. So with these words, let me start with the PPT which I have prepared, and we will go step by step. I think some light could be switched off so that you can see the projection. Okay, it's this side? Okay, fair enough. No, not this one. IIEBM. Not this one. I also train those who are joining the armed forces as officers. Yes, this one. Correct. Or you go to one lower, take the PPT. Don't see the PDF, go to the PPT. Yeah, this one, correct. Okay, make it full screen. Okay. So getting ready for the future. Next slide. Do you have anything? Yeah, that will be better. Which one? And this one? So what you see on the screen is, today one has to run faster to stay on the same spot. You might be wondering that if you are running, why should you be staying at the same spot? You should be going forward. But it is not like that. Even to maintain your position, you have to be on the ball and you have to be fully updated. Because the world is changing so fast, the requirements of the environment, the requirements of the industry, the requirements of the organization, the changes in your domain, When I say domain, I mean, some of you are commerce graduates, some of you are science graduates, some of you are engineers. Am I correct? Okay. So that is your domain, and of course you are now getting ready for management education, and you would pass out with flying colors in this particular domain. So this is a quotation by very famous Philip Kotler. You have heard his name? Yeah. Marketing guru. It was in a particular context, but it is very apt, and it summarizes today's situation in industry, commerce, and the corporate world. Okay. Yes, just assist me. Okay. So look at the current reality. Let's first look at the current reality and what are the future trends. So 40% of the jobs, current jobs, did not exist 4 or 5 decades earlier. That means the jobs which are there in the industry today, 40% of them were not there about 4 decades back. And you are aware what type of jobs did not exist, say in the 70s and 80s, which are there now. Everything to do with your internet, the aggregators. You understand the aggregators, Ola, Uber, they did not exist that time. Software developers did not exist because there was no www, World Wide Web. There was no internet. It did not come to our country by then. So those jobs did not exist. 40% of today's jobs did not exist 40 years back. And the jobs which are existing today will become obsolete maybe in the next 2 decades or even faster than that. Do you appreciate this? So you are facing a situation which is very dynamic, which is changing by the year. And which are the jobs which are existing today but may not exist, say, after about 10, 15 years? Can anybody just guess any job which he thinks will not be there? Taxi driver? Yes? What job you said? Yes, you're right. Everything will become automated. Sit down, good. A taxi driver may not be required because the vehicles are autonomous. They drive themselves. I mean, they are already in use, but may not be in those numbers. But slowly and slowly, when technology improves, the scales improve, you will find that there is no requirement. Likewise, there will be many more jobs which may not exist. And also the current jobs may be replaced, 35% of them may be replaced by robots and ultra-tech. Ultra-tech is a word used for the modern technologies which are there, and all of you have heard about it. For example, when you order something in Amazon or Flipkart and the packaging is done based on your particular specific order, instead of the workers taking out things from the shelves and packing it, who does it? The robot does it. And the robot can work how many hours? 24 hours. Humans will not be able to work. They require a break, a coffee, tea break, or just a fresh air break, if not anything else. So the current jobs will also be taken over by machines, but that doesn't mean that the situation is gloomy. New jobs will come up. That has been the story so far. Old jobs get redundant or obsolete and new jobs come. But when new jobs come, there is new requirement, new skills, isn't it? You can't be doing new jobs with old skills. So, new skills will be required. And it is not as if the products only go outdated, even the services go outdated. So many services have gone outdated. In your lifetime, you would have seen, you are all at least 20 plus, I'm sure. So you are all between say 20 and 23, 24. In your younger days, you would have seen something known as the video library. Have you seen video library? Maybe your parents did not allow you to go that side. But I am sure you are aware that there is such a thing as a video library. Do you see the video libraries today? There is no requirement because you have got a pen drive, you got other modes, you got OTT. What is the full form of OTT? Yes. In one college I went, they said, other than television. I said, I never thought about it that way. But I appreciate that at least he guessed that OTT should be other than television. So, fair enough. So, no product or no industry or no service is permanent. Everything changes. And the pace of change, the rate of change is very fast. But the life of the industry, the life cycle as we call it, everything has a life cycle. Humans also have a life cycle. Yes or no? Of course, it is now prolonged because at the time of independence, the longevity, average longevity was just 46, 47 years. Today, it's about 72. So, everything has a life. But what has happened? Changes take place very fast. The life of the industry becomes shorter. And this has its own ramifications or own result. Let's see. Okay, now when the industry life cycle is shorter, what happens? The jobs are managerial jobs, skilled jobs are very specific. They ask for specific skills. And those skills if you have, you are eligible for doing that job. But if you don't have those specific skills, then you are not eligible. So the jobs are not bulk jobs. Bulk jobs are in unskilled. Unskilled jobs can be in bulk. I require 500 people in the warehouse to unload. But is that a skilled job? That's an unskilled job. As far as skilled jobs are concerned, the requirements are also very specific. High risk, high return, because when industries start, they invest a lot of money. Invest money in plant, in the infrastructure. So there is high risk that it may fail. And some industries have failed. You have all heard about airlines failing. Have you heard? And airlines is a very common example because they fail, and when they fail very badly. It's like they come crashing down. And one fine day you are told that your ticket which is booked for tomorrow, there is no flight. Now you wait for a refund. If you are lucky, you will get a refund, otherwise forget it. Which was the airline of Malya Saab which failed? So I also had a ticket which was maybe 15-20 days later, and this bad news came. So I kept the ticket for maybe a couple of months waiting for the refund. Then I gave up. Then the ticket was thrown in the dustbin. So that's how it is. So the risk is high, but the profits could also be high. So certain skills, which are in demand at a particular time, we call it in management skimming the cream. That means you have to ride the wave. You are ahead of the wave. Now when computers came to India, which year they came in a big way? Which year? Anybody? 80s, yeah? Early 80s, mid 80s, in a big way. So those who were computer savvy, they immediately got jobs because they were skilled, they had they had the opportunity to learn that, because everybody did not have the opportunity. So I remember we had just started our career, and we used to marvel that those who could, do that. But those who were left behind, then unless you do a course, you can't even apply for a job. There is variable compensation. This is one of the challenges which you will face in your life, in your working life. Today, there are so many challenges. One of it is variable compensation. Variable compensation means the same job being done by two people may not get the same salary. It also happens in many other industries. And the example I would like to give is Bollywood. What is variable in Bollywood for the same job? Yeah, between the hero and the heroine, I mean, I would imagine the heroine is as important and as, as responsible to make the film successful. But the heroine ends up getting less compensation. So now they are saying, why less? The picture has become a hit not just because of the hero. So that these things are there, you will have to contend with it. Working hours will be long, so better get used to it now. And there will be job stress. I get a lot of people when I do counseling as a psychologist. They come to me saying that they are stressed because their boss is not good. They say that their boss is very strict. So what will you do? Leave the job? They use a word in colloquial, बोलचाल की भाषा में, boss बहुत खड़ूस है. So what do? Leave the job, then you go to next. There the next champion is even more. So you can't be leaving jobs like that. You have to be professional and you have to hold your ground. So all these things, these challenges will be there. Now another challenge which you will face, and which the people, your senior batches are also facing. Somebody is an engineer, but the job he has got is not connected with engineering. It is connected with finance, which has got no direct connection with engineering. And he is made to work in a profile. Profile is what is your job requirement, which has got everything to do with finance and nothing to do with engineering. So, is it natural to feel frustrated? I am asking you, is it natural to feel frustrated?
Yes, sir.
That's true. Because you are being asked to do a job for which you have not been trained, but that's it. And next day you may be asked to do something else. Because the company is also in a flux. Company is also changing, the environment is also changing. What else is changing? The government policies also can change. And there is another issue, the controversial issue of moonlighting. Have you heard this word, moonlighting? So, do you think, is it permitted? Let me ask you first. What is the legal position on that? Anybody? Is there a standard legal position about moonlighting? Moonlighting means, for those who are not initiated, that means the employee is working in organization A but also privately working for B, C, D or one or two other organizations, about which his parent organization is not aware of. So, what is the position? Do organizations allow that? So, is it legal? But what happened in the COVID times, people lost their jobs or they were told to wait. They were not fired. They said, you are on, जैसे telephone पे hold पे होता है ना, somebody has kept you on hold. So you are neither fired, but you are not even asked to come to the office. Now what does the poor employee do? He can't be sitting idle. He has to earn his salary. He has to look after his household and so on. So this is an issue. It's a controversial issue. Some people, and there is one school of thought which says that it should be allowed. Why not? After all, you are not interfering. You are not using the time of your own company. You are doing it at your private time. So what is the problem? Even school teachers do it. What do they do at their private time? So you can't. Doctors, government doctors, private practice. So that can also be seen as a form of moonlighting, isn't it? But the point is that every organization has a different rule. So you have to follow the rule of your organization. You can't make the rules of your organization, can you? You have to go by the company policy, as they say. Okay. Working hours stretched, I already said. Dynamic job requirements. While you are in a job, there may be a requirement for you to upgrade some other skill. And the company may assist you in doing it, or you have to do it on your own. So like take the case of from the academic side. Somebody is a professor in a management college. Now there is a UGC order that all professors have to be PhD. So you are told one fine day, "Bit तुम्हारी नौकरी तो तभी बरकरार रहेगी जब तक आप PhD करना शुरू कर दो." So now the requirement has changed. If you have to keep your job, you have to do that. So similarly, in other domains also, there could be requirement, and you have to either you accept that requirement or you quit. These are the challenges you will face. There is constant focus on productivity and performance of employees. I'll tell you something very interesting. When we were doing MBA in the late 70s and early 80s, when we started our jobs, the financial documents which are made at the end of the year, they are known as annual statements. Finance people are aware. Annual P&L account, balance sheet and so on. So they were made once a year, and then the company used to publish that booklet. But in later years, what happened? We have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. It was not there earlier. That means for every quarter you require kya profit hua hai, what is the profitability, who has done, and your assessment also may be done in that periodicity. So you have to be on your toes, in short. Because I don't remember seeing Q1, Q2. Now the minute some company, say big blue chip company, results are out for, this was, which quarter is this current one? Huh? First quarter is over. Huh? Okay, coming to an end this month, April, May, June. So if the first quarter results are out and that company has done very well in the first quarter, what happens at the stock market? Suddenly, overnight, because they say that there is a spurt, there is a bull run, because the Q1 results of such and such company have increased their profit by so and so. So likewise for employees also, there are targets for every quarter. You will have targets. Targets are not only in sales, incidentally. Don't think that the targets are only for salespeople. There are targets for everyone. And some targets may be in quantifiable terms, some targets may be in qualitative terms. So that is something which you will have to contend with. There could be job losses, uncertainty about your career growth, government policies changes, the whole industry crumbles. This has happened. A simple thing like excise duty, change in excise duty can, custom duty, that can dramatically affect the future sustainability of a company which is involved in import or export, and that could spell the doom for that company. And the requirement to reskill. So this, I am continuously using the word skill again and again, because at the end of the day, your passport is your skill. Your passport to your success is your skill, and that skill has to be some sort of specialization. Just by saying that I am a management graduate may not be enough. Because everybody is a management. You will be surprised to know, in the armed forces from where I come, I was a selector also, as she mentioned, and head of the training also. I found that out of the 480 cadets, officer cadets who were going to become officers, all branches, pilots, engineers, administrators, all branches, they at least 40 to 43% of them were MBA. They had worked in the civil also. So don't think that MBA is something which is rare. It's not rare nowadays. Do you agree with me? So every time you have to have some special thing over and above to make the cut. And that's why the skill comes here. There is a time lag in this. Okay. Now just see this picture. This is 5th Avenue, New York City, April 15, 1900 hours. 19 not hours, sorry. Year is 1900. All the pictures you see are horse-drawn carriages and maybe one small speck of a car. Year is 1900, which is the beginning of the 20th century, starting from 1901 or starting from 1900, beginning of the 20th century. New York City, all are horse-driven. And just see what happens. Just 13 years down the line, just 13 years, do you see any horse? So between 1900 and 1913, same country, same city, same spot. But do you think it's a dramatic change? 13 साल में इतना बदल गया. And this year, of course, we are in the, this is about the beginning of the 20th century. We are in the 21st century. So it is said by experts that the last quarter of the 20th century, that means 1975 to 2000, last quarter of the 20th century, and the first quarter of the 21st century. We are in 23, another 2 years you will be passing out in the first quarter of the 21st century. These 50 years, 25 साल पिछले शताब्दी के और 25 साल इस शताब्दी के, they are the 50 years where maximum transformation has taken place in every field, in every way, in every domain, technologically speaking particularly. But here is an example. Even in 1900 the change was so dramatic. Some more changes we will see. This change you have seen in your own life. Your father or your elder relative or elder brother work from office, work from home. Have you seen the change yourself? Some of you, I am sure some of you are working, so you would have seen, you would have undergone the change yourself. All this has happened in your lifetime. So, which is just 20 plus years. So you can imagine the change which your elders, your parents have seen, those who are 60 and above and 70 onwards, like that. So much change is there. What is the mobile saying to the landline? I told you our ancestors had a tail. So that's how things go. Yes, move it ahead. The the mobile phone is telling the landline, it's a happy birthday for the landline, but he says we will never make it to 50. You are using mobile phones for last how many years? 10, 15? How many years? But will the mobile last for full 50 years? I don't know. It may. Some products have lasted much longer. Why? The telephone has lasted 50 years in front of you. The dial-up. This is the dial-up telephone. Did you use it during your lifetime? I don't think so. You never saw that because you were born in a different era. And we have seen an era even before the dial-up. You have to lift the receiver and then operator comes, please connect me to so and so, number you have to give. So, and you will see many more changes in your lifetime. Maybe this situation may come that the human is asking, or rather bowing before the machine. So all this is just to tell you that we are in a very dynamic world which is always in a flux. Things will change, things have changed, things will continue to change. You have to keep pace with the change. How? By gearing yourself up, by preparing, by practice, by planning, and that is what we will see in the next part. Now, there is new complication. न्यू बुल्स इन द चाइना शॉप. चाइना शॉप में अगर जो कांच का सामान होता है, सिरेमिक्स का सामान होता है, उसमें अगर बुल आ जाए तो क्या होगा? What will happen if the bull actually enters the China shop? What will happen? It will smash up everything. So these technologies which are there today are the biggest disruptors. They have disrupted the entire foundation of industry, commerce, trade, everything. All of you are aware of this. Let us see. Most of you are seen this. AI, full form you know. ML you know. AR, yes. VR, VFX. What is VFX? Virtual effects, yes. Those pictures, animation pictures, the VFX. The whole thing is about VFX, Bahubali, and you would have seen those movies. GPT, full form. GPT, full form. Anybody? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, GPT. Yes, please. Yeah, listen, please. Pura batao. No, the word is generative pre-trained transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. Earlier, some people used to also call it giant pre-trained transformer, which is the latest kid on the block, as they say. So these things are there. Then we have robotics. We have blockchain. Where is blockchain used? Yes, you have to. The whole process of mining your coins is through a process of blockchain, but blockchain is a very versatile thing, and it will be used in very many domains and very many areas, which will help keep proper records and which will help cutting the costs and also eliminating corruption. IoT, yeah, so this is another thing. Cloud computing, again it is there. So these are the new bulls in the China shop because they have disrupted the existing format and the way which we work, the way in which the organizations are formed, the way in which revenue comes, even the method of receiving revenue generation has changed. How does Facebook get its revenue? Or does it at all get its revenue? How does WhatsApp get its revenue? So many things are there which have brought in a paradigm shift in the way things were happening earlier. So you will have to deal with these things, not just the full form. You will have to work on these systems sooner rather than later. So you better equip yourself. Next. Just very briefly, there have been three eras, yug, of automation. In the first era, what happened, take it from the industrial revolution age and all, where the dangerous and heavy duty work was being given to the machines, whether it was digging or shifting or lifting. The next era was about monotonous work being given to the machines, like assembly line. Somebody has to put a label on a bottle or on a box. So that was being put manually, and then the machine started putting it. So this was each era will be say 50 years, 60 years, 100 years. It is a very rough way of understanding the three eras of automation. We are in the third era of automation, where the machines take decisions. We are in that era of automation where machines take decisions. For example, the autonomous car. When you are sitting in the self-driven car, who is taking the decisions about left turn, right turn? That steering is moving on its own. And if you have to, we have in India self-parking cars. It's not rare to see. We have got even in Pune, I have seen. The car is parking itself. So the decision to maneuver the car is being taken by the computer inside the car. So we are in an era of automation where the decision making process has been transferred from humans to the machines. But have all decision making been transferred? If that happens, then it would create a further problem. But I don't know whether it will happen or not. It may happen, it may not happen, but though I personally believe certain things cannot be handled by machines, because machines don't have emotions. So the machine reacts in a mechanical way, whatever it is programmed to do, because the ingenuity or the creativity of a human, I don't think can be matched by a machine. I may be wrong, I don't know. But I'm sure, if not in our lifetime, in your lifetime, you will get a positive, definite answer to this question. Next. I have brought some data from the World Economic Forum. Are you aware? Have you heard of the name Davos? Davos is a place in Switzerland where everybody flocks. World Economic Forum is a great organization. It is a public-private partnership where the top business, trade, commerce, business, the captains of these industries, they go. The countries, they send their ministers and they talk about world economics, world environment, multilateral agreements, world trade, and so on and so forth. So this is I have just used few of the survey points which are relevant to you. If you can just read loudly, because आप खड़े होके जब पढ़िए इसको जरा जोर से पढ़िए इसको. First, read the first one.
Key findings in the World Economic Forum report on future of jobs up to 2025.
That means this is about, the survey is valid till 2025. That year is relevant to you? Is 2025 relevant to all of you? Yes. That is the year you are going to pass out. So it is very relevant. Now read.
The pace of technology adoption is expected to remain high and may
Further accelerate in some areas. Sit down. Technology adoption means कितने जल्दी companies technology को adopt करती है. It will be very high. And have you seen, even humans have adopted new technologies fast. Everybody is using QR codes now for payment. Yes? No? We have got UPI. UPI stands for Unified Payment Interface. So whether it is GPay or it is Paytm or Bheem, everything is interfaced. And let me tell you, this is only in India. I am told that UPI is not available anywhere in the world. So we have already taken a lead in this. Now you see a person selling some small item at the roadside. He is also having a QR code. So just see the adoption is so fast. So this survey says that adoption by industry will be very fast, new technologies. And in some cases it will be very, very fast, even more fast. The number of jobs destroyed will be surpassed by the number of jobs of tomorrow created in contrast to the previous years. Now what was happening in the previous years, jobs were going out and new jobs were less. But now the survey says, and this survey is from a very reputed World Economic Forum, it says that jobs will still get out, but new jobs will be more than the old jobs. So is it good news or bad news? It is good news for you. So it is not going to happen that the new technology comes and everybody is jobless. No. The new technology will throw up new jobs. And those new jobs will require new skills. So you have got a chance. If you are skilled enough, if you are smart enough, if you are moving with the times, if you keep yourself abreast, you are in the contention. Skill gaps continue to be high as in-demand skills across jobs in the next 5 years. That means the survey says that the requirement is of certain skills, but the number of people who are available are not so many. That means there is a shortage of certain skills. Today, if you say that you come and do a job concerning blockchain, will you be able to do that job? Somebody says you start working on blockchain tomorrow onward. Will you be able to do it? First, you will have to understand what it is, how it is, and you have to gain experience, and only then you will be able to do it. So, there will be shortage of skills, and the people who get skilled faster are benefited. The future of work has already arrived for a large majority of white-collar jobs online. People thought that after COVID is over, online will be over. Has it happened that way? My own sons, they are working abroad, and when they come on leave here, I ask them, कितने दिन की छुट्टी ली है? So he says, Baba, छुट्टी कहाँ ली है? Then I said, how come you are here and you are... But he says, I am working. So, the boy has come from Singapore. Father is thinking he's come on leave, but he says, there is no leave, I am working. So, I will be on call from breakfast to say lunchtime, small break. Then again I will be on call. And then I am free by around 6:37. So, I said, I wish we had such arrangements during my time. We never had that. We had to, of course I was in the Air Force, so that was a different thing. But I also worked in the civil after doing my MBA for a couple of years in corporates. And that facility of work from home is not there. In any case, defense cannot have work from home. Huh? If your enemy knocks at the door, what are you going to tell him? Huh? I am working from home. Come to my door, I will sort you out. So, but in business, in commerce, industry, this format is here to stay. Now, whether it depends on industry to industry. Some industries, I am finding it very good. They say that we save on so many things by asking our employees to work from home. But can manufacturing be done work from home? Obviously, if you are working, there is a production line, so that has to be in a factory. The window of opportunity for reskilling and upskilling has been shorter. That means the time available for you to reskill will not be leisurely, you will have to do it fast. So all these things are pointing to one thing, that you have to be on your toes. Next. So how you should be preparing yourself so that you are industry ready. Develop practical and applied knowledge. When we select officers for the armed forces, we see this very much. Theoretical knowledge is fine. It is important. It's not as if theoretical knowledge is not important. But when you go to a job, you have to prove, you have to demonstrate how this theoretical knowledge is going to be utilized in practical terms. If you can't do that, then that theoretical knowledge is no good. So it is good to read books, understand, but you can't be a bookworm. You have to have practical intelligence, common sense, and applied knowledge. Applied knowledge means, give you an example, I was interviewing a electrical engineer, and I asked him that in your house there are 5 rooms. In 3 rooms there is electricity, and in 2 rooms there is no electricity. What will you do? So he said, I will check the MCB. MCB, you know? No. Miniature circuit breaker. And I said, okay, you check the MCB. Everything is fine. There is no tripping. No MCB has tripped. But 2 rooms don't have light, 3 rooms have light. Then what will you do? He said, I will call the electrician. He was an electrical engineer. Now, are you going to give up so easily? I said, your parents will say, इतना खर्चा किया तुम्हारे ऊपर इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर बनाने के लिए, अब तुम कह रहे हो इलेक्ट्रिशियन को बुलाओगे, बस एमसीबी चेक किया और कुछ नहीं चेक करने के लिए. This is an example, real life example of a person who has only theoretical knowledge and no practical knowledge. So if you have that sort of thing, it is not going to work out. Communication and presentation skills, I don't have to say that, you all know that. Communication particularly very, very important, because that's how you face, that's how you interact with people, that's how you put across your ideas. Think creatively, out of the box. I take sessions on lateral thinking, critical thinking. These are areas you read about it. There is much to learn in that. Keep abreast of the latest developments in your domain area. You can be pardoned for not knowing something which is outside your, you can be pardoned for something which is outside your domain area if you don't know. But something which is in your domain, like that electrical engineer, I said. So that electrical engineer cannot say, I will call the electrician. Maybe he can say it if after making several attempts, he is not able to find a solution. But just at the second instance, he can't say that I will call the electrician. That means he is only a theoretical man. He has got no idea of actual work. Do specialized courses, have a balanced worldview. It's not just knowing your own field. A good professional knows about other fields also. He may not be an expert on other fields, but he has a fairly good knowledge by keeping himself abreast, by reading about it, by keeping update his knowledge. And today you are very blessed because you have information at the fingertips. When we were at this stage, the only place we had to go was to the library. There was no internet, there was nothing, so we could not. And library has its timings, and all books are not available for issue. So you are in a very, very good situation. Okay. Realistic self-assessment and working on weak areas. Again, this is very self-explanatory. You have to do a realistic assessment of yourself. In the services also we check insight, how well you know yourself. If you don't know yourself well, you will never be able to improve. Sometimes we feel that we are too good, but because your exposure is less, the minute you come to a new environment, you realize that I am no good. I thought I was very good, but in a larger crowd, you realize that. अपने गली में सब, पर हमेशा अपने गली में तो नहीं रहोगे ना तुम. So you have to broaden your horizon. And if you are a share in somebody else's gully, then they will say, yes, इसमें दम है. He has got something. Learn to organize and manage your time. Time management, again, it is self-explanatory. I don't have to repeat it. You all know how important it is at this stage and later in your life. Okay, next. Have you missed one slide? It's okay. Just go back one. Okay, okay, fine. No, okay, fine. Next. Okay. So the imperatives means what is the final thing now? Change before you are forced to change. Because if you don't change in time, a situation will come where you are forced to change. And that may not be a very happy situation, because when you are forced to do something, it is more painful. You earn what you learn. Your success will depend on what you have learnt here. Develop strong domain skills and remain updated. I have emphasized this in every area which I have been speaking about so far. The learning curve always remains curved. I have just made a quotation myself. What does it mean? The learning curve remains curved. What does it mean? Anybody? Anybody from here? Yes. Yes, yes. The learning curve, it doesn't come down. Good, sit down. That means learning never ends. So even in my learning curve is still curved. So can I say here that I know everything? Obviously not. And till the last day of your life, you are still learning only. So don't never have this feeling that I have arrived, I know everything. Never have that feeling. It will not help you. That learning curve is going to be curved. It is not going to come down. A type of parabolic curve. Okay. Take initiative, get noticed and differentiated. It is always the person who has got something different, something extra, who gets selected. Maybe for his communication skills, maybe for his presentation skills, maybe for his practical knowledge, maybe for his attitude, maybe for his teamwork. You have to be a team player and learn to adapt and adjust. In today's world, teamwork is everything. You may be a brilliant person, you may have a brilliant academic record, but if you can't work in a team, you are no good. So whether your boss is khadus or not, you have to be professional, which does not mean that you have to be subservient to him. Doesn't mean that. It means you have to do your job fine and nobody will be treating you badly then. If you are professional, if you are good in your job, nobody can take liberties with you. Your network is your net worth. This is the new dictum. Your network is your net worth. This was something which, in fact, other day my son told me. He studied in Great Lakes Management Institution, so one of his directors mentioned that, because in today's world, net worth is, you all understand what is network? Network means collaborating with people, not for something wrong, collaborating with something for a good cause. That means in industry you start working, you have to build relations, you have to build good equations. You may leave a company. Does it mean that you have to abuse that company? It doesn't mean that. So you don't have to burn your bridges, as they say in English. Don't burn your bridges. You have to network. Network is a great thing which helps you progress in your career. And good networking will get you good opportunities. And good opportunities will get you good exposure. It will add value to your CV. So the final, my formula which I always say, homework. Homework means not the homework which you got in school. Homework means planning, preparation and planning. You have to be good at homework. Hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. You have to be prepared to burn the midnight oil. Homework, hard work. Teamwork. In today's world, teamwork is not optional, it's mandatory. You have to be a good team player. Next is smart work. I can take an entire session on smart work. 1 hour, 1.5 hour session. What is smart? Smart work is not taking shortcuts. Smart work is all about having the right priorities. It is more important to do the right thing than to do things right. This is another quotation which means कौन सी चीज़ ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है, कौन सी चीज़ पहले करनी है, कौन सी चीज़ बाद में करनी है. This is smart work. Assigning correct priorities to jobs. And finally, network. Homework, hard work, teamwork, smart work, network. If you just remember these words, you will be getting the gist of my talk. Next one. In conclusion, what I want to say is, you are embarking on a very exciting journey. Great opportunities and future lies ahead of you. Make the most of the situation. Understand the environment. Plan, prepare. Learn to move with the times. Get ready for the challenges, what we discussed today here in the class. And finally, don't forget to enjoy this beautiful journey. Last but not the least, you don't have to be very serious in life. You all deserve a break once in a while. We all deserve. We have to let our hair down. So this is all I had to share. I hope you understood it and learned something and are carrying something with you back home. Thank you very much. All the best.
We extend our sincerest gratitude to you, sir, for conducting this remarkable and enlightening session. As students embarking on this new journey, it's very essential to understand the opportunities and the requirements needed for corporate. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing all of those. And we look forward to your next visit to our campus. Thank you, sir.